Hi guys, so it's all about the BF, and today I'm just going to go out to the park. So I thought I would do a get ready with me, like a chit chat get ready with me. So without any notifications and further ado's, let's get on to the video. Okay, so I'm using the W7 Prime Magic primer, and I'm applying some to my hand, a good size amount, and then I'm just rubbing that all over my face, the cheeks, the nose, the forehead, the chin, even my eyes. I'm making sure I get it all over my skin and thoroughly moisturize that into my skin. Next, then I dropped something. Next, I'm using the Benefit Professional, and I did just show you that I'm only using a small amount because you only need the tiniest amount. Yeah, I just told you. And I'm applying it just to the nose, the forehead, basically my T-zone where I get most oily. But when I did have some excess on my fingers, I then did rub the rest onto the cheeks and the rest of my face just to help with a bit more, to help my makeup on stay on a bit more. Next, I'm taking the L'Oreal True Match, and I'm in the shade 1.5N, and I'm using my beauty blender, and I'm using one pump on my hand, and then picking some up with the beauty blender and starting to apply that to my face and blend in evenly, and making sure it gets into the hairline and all the crevices, like into your corners of your eye, and just making sure like I get an even texture all the way through. I really don't think that shade is my shade, but we're doing okay here. We're doing okay. And I also do the other side off camera. Next, I use the Age Rewind Concealer, and I apply that as a triangle under my eyes, on my nose, on my forehead, on my chin, again on the T-zone area, and everywhere where I would usually apply concealer because of all my spots and blemishes around that area. I don't think this shade is my shade either. And then I blend with a beauty blender. Again, I just wanted to show you a bit of the blending because so you can see me blending and just see me getting into my nose and stuff to make sure it is properly blended. Then I use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm in the shade NC15, but my camera would not focus. This is a very full coverage concealer, and I know I've shown you where to apply it. Then it's magically on, so now I'm beauty blending it because you need a good clip of me beauty blending, if that's even a thing. And then I make sure I apply it over the top of my eyes because I just wanted to show you this clip so you could see how good this concealer brightens under my eyes. It changes my eyes massively. So now I'm showing you what it looks like after I've blended it in and I'm pulling faces, which I will do a lot in this video. And then I'm showing on to the next product. So this is a Technique palette, and I'm taking that shade and I'm taking a stubby brush. Then because that applies a lot more product, and I apply it under my eyes and in the places where I've put the concealer. And then I decided to apply it to the rest of my face to give an even coverage and to make sure that all my face was matte and it all looked the same texture and it all lasted for the same amount of time. And this is not the best one, and I can't say it's the best one, but it is the best one because you've used it all, because I haven't. I've just been scraping it to use highlighters. But this one shade that I do use, I love so much. And I'm making sure I also apply it to my neck because that is really important. Next, I use my second amount of powder, which is the Technique Soft Focus. And again, I use the same, a bigger brush this time. And I'm just showing you how it all poofed everywhere and nearly made me choke. Then I'm making sure I only apply the tiniest amount because this powder can give you white, like, chunks on your face. So I'm making sure it spreads evenly, that there's no thick white spots. And I apply it over because that means you just, again, get an overall coverage or an overall set. And I only did it on one half of my face, I realised, so I needed to do the other half, and I needed to do my neck. then a pulled face. Then I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, Press Powder in 004 Sandstorm, and I just use a Royal Enhanced Powder brush, and I'm going very, very lightly when I apply it to my face, like to the point where like I could literally just drop the handle, like my hands were flabby, and I was just like dropping them, and then I nearly choked on the powder again, and suffocated, and sneezed. Next, I used the Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I'm in the shade 3, and then I just took the spoolie end and then started to brush my brows into shape, obviously doing both of them. Then I turned around to the other side of the brush, the other side of the pen, and slowly added some colour into my brows. I wanted to go for a dark, sharp brow today because I was doing a light, natural eye. So I'm making sure that I have got enough pigmentation that you can see how my brows have got darker. And I'm making sure I do a fine arch and that I've not ruined my brows, and making sure it looks proper. And then tidying up and making sure my front of my brow was lighter than the back of my brow. And then I will then spool it out again to make sure the product's all even, and then I will show you what it looks like without one, and then I did the rest off camera. So this is how them both done now, darker brow, and I think my brows look really cool when I have all my foundation on and everything, but no eyes. And then I do a spoolie again for a third time just to make sure that I've definitely set my brows in place. These are the extra things I do for makeup. Next, I take my MAC paint pot in soft ochre and I spread it using my finger all over my eyes, and this just takes out any discoloration or like any veins or anything from your eye. And this is also a really good makeup primer. Nika Tutorials uses it and I love it so much. This is what it looks like after it's cancelled out all the coloration. Next, I take the Sweet Peach Too Faced palette, and I'm taking this shade here, which I think is white cream or white peaches, and I just apply that to set my paint pot, and I just go under my eye as well just to brighten up my under eye a bit further. And it will be shortly followed by Peaches and Cream in the palette, which is more like a goldy sort of like nudie colour, which I'm showing you here. And again, I apply that over my lid to extra set the eye and under my eyes as well, just because I don't think that adds that much pigmentation. And then I close the lid and do the face. Next, I take Summer Yum, which is like a hazelnutty colour, and I just take my Real Techniques brush and I blend that into the crease, very light-handed, and I only take one dab into the eyeshadow on each eye to begin with. Make sure that's thoroughly blended. I'm just telling you I did that for the other eye as well. I applied one dab. Oh, and before I did all this, I did prep my skin with the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Day Cream, which has got SPF 15, which I loved. Now I'm dipping in 2 times and going onto both my eyes. So that's technically 3 times on each eye. So now I'm dipping into a darker colour of the Summer Yum, and even darker colour I'm now showing you. The one opposite that, diagonal, that was the original one that I took, but now this is a deeper colour. So I'm just trying to show you here, but the palette, I can't work my hands. So I'm taking one dip into that shade and going into each eye. I didn't show you this time, but I'm counteracting that onto the outer parts of my eye. And then I eventually just blend the excess into the whole crease. But this was originally darker and add some more depth into the outer corners of my eye. And I'm making sure that eye is well blended. And then I think I'm showing you, yes I am. Throughout this whole video I'm pulling faces, by the way, just to let you know. Next I'm taking the 35 OS palette by Morphe, which is the 35 of shimmers. And I'm just taking some MAC Fix Plus in 100 mils, which I will then show you what it looks like. And then I'm clicking open the lid and just taking a flat eyeshadow brush and doing one spray into the air and letting my brush wave around into it. Because then I want to dip into an eyeshadow. This just helps give us some more pigmentation. I think like the sparkle, doing more sparkle than matte counteracts it and just looks really good. So I'm doing two different shades. I'm doing this shade here and the shade opposite it. And then applying that to the centre lid and then blending up into my crease a bit, so you can still see the matte, the slight matte behind it, but it's more thoroughly just shimmer. I do show at the end what I mean by this by showing you the whole look. You will get it when you see it at the end, but then I'm just applying that. I'm making sure I get the same amount of pigmentation on one eye as the other eye, which I'm going in then for a second layer because I didn't think that was pigmented enough on either of the eyes, so I'm just redoing that. And then I will show you again what it looks like. I think I'm just going to do like clock in it, like I'm showing you now. Clocks in every few times I do a new thing. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using for my inner corners. So that's the shade I'm using for my inner corners, and then I'm going to be swapping my brush because I'm so unprepared. But I technically use like a pencil brush in the end for the inner corner. I find this really most helpful, so I'm dipping it into that shade. It's more like a goldy brown shade, I think, and then I'm concentrating that on the inner corners of my eye. Is it just me, but when you always apply inner corner highlight, you always get it into the tear duct, and it makes you like blink because it's like you have something in your eye. Oh, I don't know, but that's what I'm doing, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. And then I also applied the lightest colour, which is like a piercing ice white, to my brow bone, which in the light it does look really stunning under my dark brows, which you will see, or hopefully see. I didn't think you would see it enough, so that's why I applied some more, because you know you never can have enough highlight, as the key term says. And then I smiled and I look so ugly. So I'm taking Great Lash by Maybelline. It's a great old mascara, a classic, but I didn't know about it until recently, so I'm very, very boring. Like, I don't get out much at all, because this mascara has been into the world of makeup like forever. This is like one of Maybelline's first mascara, and I'm twisting the brush as I apply the mascara. So as I said, this is Great Lash by Maybelline, and it's the blackest black, and yeah, it's been like on for like 100 years now, I think. So I'm twisting, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm twisting my eye, the handle, each time I apply. And then I also use it at the bottom. I always do my top lashes first, just so then it doesn't like transfer, I believe. I don't know. I've always done it like that, really. So then I will just take it into my bottom lashes. So now I'm taking it into my bottom lashes, and I do sort of like press down a bit so I get a bit of black under my eye, and that like freaks out most people, because it's like, you know, getting it all under your eye. But I think it kind of adds a bit of smokiness. I don't do it so it's blunt, so you can bluntly see that I've got it all under my eye. But if you can see here what I kind of mean, just to add a bit of more dimension to my eyes. Then I'm taking the Tanya Burr Peachy Glow cheek palette, and I'm just taking the shade Apricot Flush, and I dipped in it twice, patted it off, and then did it on one side of my cheek. So I do it twice, dipped in twice, dipped in one more time. So I dipped it 3 times basically on each cheek, and made sure, so then I applied enough pigmentation. Then I did 2 again, obviously, onto my other cheek. Then applied another 1 to make the 3, and did it so it was fair pigmentation. Then it was my, and also I applied some to my nose because I found out a new hack the other day that if you apply something to your nose, it looks more natural. I got that off a YouTuber. Next is my favourite part, it's the highlight. So I use some MAC Fix Plus, and I use a Royal Enhance foundation brush, and then I sprayed it, obviously did it in the air, the same thing that I did earlier. Then I'm taking the same Tanya Bear Peachy Glow palette, and then I'm taking the shade Champagne Shimmer, which I love the shade, and I'm fully dipping my brush into the pan, and I'm applying it to my cheekbones, and then I saw the highlight and I was like, oh my god, in my head. And so is it just me again, another thought in my brain, that one cheek doesn't apply highlight as like full on as the other one? Like my right cheek, when I apply highlighter after 2 coats, it looks beaming, but on my left cheek, when I apply highlight after two strokes, it doesn't look as pigmented. So let's just say I apply 2 streaks on my right cheek, looks glowing already after 2 streaks. Do the same 2 streaks on my left cheek, doesn't look as good. It really annoys me. I have to like do more layers on my left than my right. So then I just apply it to the nose, the lips, and then I dust it all over my face because I love a glowy look. I know my friends always say you shouldn't apply highlight all over your face, but I love it. Then I'm taking a MAC lipstick, which is a luster in the shade Patisserie. It wasn't zooming in again, and then I found out the name of it rubbed off. So then I was just applying that, and basically I tried to show you, look, basically my MAC lipstick is that bit is the only bit left, so it's right down to the bottom, like it's almost finished, and it's that, like, there's that little left that it broke. So then it was getting all over the edge, and I had to keep moving my finger and just like apply it as my lips. But luckily I managed to do it in the end. I found a technique. It's basically like a really nice pink, but that was like too pinky for me with this look. So then I went into another product which I've been loving at the moment. It's the Tanya Bear lip gloss in the shade Lunch Date, which I tried to show you again, but my camera won't focus. And I applied that over the top, and I always feel with this applicator it applies too much. And I always have to put these Tanya Bear's lip glosses with something else because I always think they're like too like pinky for me and they wash me out even with lipstick on. So I applied that, and then I spread it with my finger because I applied too much and it washed me out. So I'm now doing that, and as I'm doing this, I'm actually like reapplying because this Tanya Bear lip gloss doesn't stay on that long. So then I'm all mixing the MAC lipstick with the Tanya Bear lip gloss. I'm just like forming a new shade, and then I take a dry tissue and just bite so that I can get out some excess lip gloss, and pattern it very lightly so it's not too lip glossy but it's not too matte. And then this is the finished look that I'm now showing you in the proper light because I don't think the camera caught it enough. And look at my big fat lips, horrible things. So then I'm applying some MAC Fix Plus as like a mini setting spray. It's not a proper setting spray, but I did it just to make it look dewy. And then I'm showing you the finished look again after I've taken my headband out because it looks so ugly with my headband on. So this is the finished look for the park. So I put my jittery hands. So then thank you so much for watching.